Good evening. Good evening. How are you doing? I can't hear you yet.
Okay, now, good evening.
How are you doing? What's your name?
Marita or Maria Elena?
Maria.
But,
It's fine, don't worry. Maria Elena.
okay.
Okay, Maria Elena, where are you from?
I'm from Bolivia, but from Santa Cruz.
Okay, Santa Cruz, Bolivia. Okay, great. We're going to start because at the moment we don't have more students that are enrolled in this course.
Okay,
Is for this time. So tomorrow you're probably going to have more classmates. Okay, so we're going to start with you. And if
okay,
you want to see this information, I'm recording. Just so you know, I'm recording these 30 minutes that is going to last this presentation or introductory class. So let's start. Okay.
okay,
Okay.
that's fine.
So I'm going to present myself. I am Paola Ausawitrago. I I am a teacher at this institution. I'm pretty new, but at the moment with some groups. And I would like to hear a little bit from you. Okay? I'm going to, well, by the way, I am in Cochabamba, Bolivia.
Yes.
We are probably going to have a lot of students from all over, okay? From Mexico, Chile, Argentina, Brazil. Well, maybe not Brazil, and Mexico. Mexico, most of them are from Mexico. Okay, so why are you taking this course? And can you answer if you know how much do you need for the TOEFL? What score do you need?
88 at least.
88, okay. And why did you decide to take this course?
Because I want to study in Germany. I tried learning German first, but now like I prefer to go with an English master
Oh, that's
because
great.
it's easier. I hope so.
Yes, yes, it will help you definitely. So we're going to start then. It's good that you already know the score that you need, but we have to try to make it the most score that we can, right? Okay.
Yes.
So let's continue. Well, as I said before, I am from Cochabamba. We're gonna have more students tomorrow, so don't worry. We're gonna have probably 4 or 5 students in this class. Okay, so let's continue. Um, uh, I am sure you already saw this before in the WhatsApp group. Um, we need to basically have that so I can with all the teachers that you're going to be having during the next 6 weeks to make sure that you are paying attention, you know, that you're taking some notes, and basically to see that you are actually working with us, right? Because it's a very active class, so we want to
Mhm.
all of you to be participating as much as you can. Okay.
Okay.
So another thing that I would like to mention is the WhatsApp group, as you are already member of it. Um, it's not yet there, but you're going to have a link from the YouTube group or well YouTube page where we are going to be uploading all the classes. So if any occasion you're not able to join the class, you can go and check the recording of that class. Okay.
Mhm. Okay.
Another thing, you are going to have 6 personal calls, sorry, for these next 6 weeks, and each call is around 20 minutes, and we're basically going to use these calls to practice speaking. Okay, so we're going to be practicing all the questions. I'm not sure if you are familiarized yet, but we have 4 different type of questions that you're going to get in the speaking part. So we're going to be practicing that. Okay, so you get better.
Mm.
And by the way, you have two opportunities to reschedule your personal calls in case that you cannot attend them at that day or time that you scheduled.
Okay.
Okay. another thing that is important to mention. Okay, so you're gonna have 2 types of classes per week. So this one is an special one because it's just an introduction of how it's going to be organized, the classes. But the theoretical classes, you're going to have them tomorrow with me and on Thursdays. Okay, and the other practical classes, you're going to have them with Andrea, if I'm not wrong. And it's going to be Wednesdays and Fridays. Okay, so just so you know,
That's
it's
fine.
important to attend to both of them because with the content, the theoretical content, then you're going to practice with Andrea. Then, we're going to have some a little pool review answer at the end of each session, just to know your opinion about that class. Okay, and I think that's all. Okay, yes, we're going to start with the calendar. As I mentioned before, tomorrow you're going to starting the reading practicing classes. First the theoretical during the whole week, right? Tuesday till Friday. Then on next week, week number 2, you're going to work on listening. Then week number 3, you work speaking. As I mentioned, you're going to work the first question. But we're going to be practicing that before. So you're going to be already familiarized with that part. Week number 4, we're going to practice question number 2 and 3. Week number 5, question number 4, and we're going to start working on the writing number 1. And week number 6, you're going to finish to work on the writing number 1 and then the writing number 2. Okay, so just have a general idea of how it's going to be organized these classes. Okay, let's continue. The main objectives of this course are basically to guide you through all the process from how to register, how to pay, where is going to be the exam, also some tips and tricks for the 4 sections. I'm going to ask you a little bit about these sections if you're familiarized with it. Also the structure of the exam, how it's going to be organized, how many minutes do you have for each section, how many questions, how many type of questions, etc. And also to practice and take advantage of the skills that you already have. So maybe you can tell me what do you think it's the more challenging part for you to talk or speak or write in English?
Probably speaking, because I don't have anyone to practice with.
Okay.
And I got a little nervous, and it's harder to think and speak instead of writing, that you can reread the sentences and notice your mistakes and all of that. For me, the speaking is like the scariest part.
Okay, don't worry. So we're going to be practicing this a lot during the next 6 weeks. So you don't worry. At the end, you're going to get way better, and also you're going to maximize your vocabulary too. Okay. So let's continue. What is the TOEFL? So the TOEFL stands for Test of English as a Foreign Language, right? There are different type of TOEFL tests. So the one that you're going to be taking is the IBT, which is taken through the internet, right? So you're probably familiarized with the institution that is taking the TOEFL on Santa Cruz. And it's the one that you're going to be taking, but also there is a version that is just being sent last year, which is the home edition. I don't know if you are familiarized with it.
No.
Before? Okay. So it's basically the same test, but you don't take it at the CBA or some other institution that is giving the TOEFL. You take it at home. So basically you are going to have the same exact test, but at home. The only difference is, to mention a couple, that you have to have a board where you are going to be taking some notes that this has to be shown. Also, a person is going, a person from another institution not related with the TOEFL is going to be making sure that you are taking the TOEFL, and you're going to be actually you taking the TOEFL at all time, because the test is going to is around 3 to 4 hours, 4 hours long, right? So it's basically that, but it's advised that you, if you have the opportunity to take the TOEFL, the home edition TOEFL, if you can. Okay, just
Okay.
an information to consider. There is also another type of TOEFL, but this one is not very common. It's usually taken in some countries that they doesn't have access to internet, so we don't have to worry about that. We just have to practice this one. Obviously, each of them are different, but this one, sorry, the paper-based test, but you are going to be practicing for the IBT, right? Okay, let's continue. Do you know a little anything about the score of the TOEFL? Maybe?
I know that is until 120,
Yes.
I think. Yeah.
Yes, great. And do you know how it's divided, or do you have any idea how it's divided?
Every like 30 or 40 each section. I
Yes.
don't remember.
Yes, actually
It
you're
has to be 30.
yes, I know. Okay, so basically that, as
Mhm.
you're already familiar with that. So the reading is 30 points, the one that we're going to be starting this week, right? Then we have the listening, 30 points, writing as well, and speaking too. Sorry. So then we have the 120 points, right? Total. The point here is to practice as much as we can in each section, so you can get good grades in each of them, and at the end you can get to 88 points, right? At least,
Yes,
if
at
it's not
least.
more. Yes. Okay. Let's continue. Okay, so I'm going to start explaining a little bit about the reading, because that's with the section that we're going to start tomorrow. So this is just introductory, so don't worry. So basically, the structure of the reading section is going to be organized in passages. Do you know what a passage is? Or do you have any idea of what a passage is?
Like a paragraph or like a notes.
Yes,
Kind
it's basically like a text, a passage, un
of.
pasaje, which can have different or many paragraphs.
Okay.
At the end, is going to be, I'm gonna jump to the next point, 700. Okay, so the thing here is that you can either get 3 passages or 4 passages. Okay, it's one or another, but if you have 3 passages, you are lucky enough to have all the information, read, answer the questions, and you have less time to work also, 54 minutes. But if you get 4 passages, you are going to get more words and more minutes and also more questions to work. Okay, so hopefully you're going to get just 3 passages, because if you get 4, unfortunately they cross out one of them, and that one doesn't actually have a score. So they
Okay.
just score you 3 as the first option. So it's like doing one for nothing, if you are
Yeah.
unlucky.
Getting tired for nothing.
I know. So, but the good news is that you have 80% to get the 3 passage, and just a 20% of having 4 passages. Okay,
Okay.
so that's some good news. Okay, so as I mentioned, we have 7 words per passage. I'm gonna show you what looks like 700 words in a passage. And as I mentioned, well, the logic is the same, right? If each passage has 700 words, we multiply that, and we have these words, right? So it's always well. Hopefully, if we get this one, it's less time to work with, us also less content to read, right?
Yes.
Now, if you get it doesn't matter how many passages, you're going to always get 10 questions per passage. So if you get 3 passages and each of them is usually going to be about a different topic, you're going to get in the first option 30 questions, and if you get 4 passages, you're going to get 40 questions. Okay?
Okay.
And also the time is going to change. 34 minutes for the 3 and 72 for 4 passages. Okay? So it's
Okay.
around 18 minutes per passage. Okay, so maybe you can tell me if you will have 18 minutes, sorry. If you will get 18 minutes to read a passage and also to answer 10 questions, how will you organize your time?
Probably I will first read the questions. So when I'm reading it, like I would know previously what is going to be asked and get more attention on maybe this word, okay, I saw it in the first question. So like to know where is where when I have to really answer the questions.
Okay, so we basically need a plan, right? So this course was basically to help people as you to get the best score as possible. So it will be advice for you to read in the text between in 7 and 8 minutes, no 6 to 8 minutes, sorry, and then try to answer each question in 1 minute. Okay,
Okay.
so not why? Because in the 2 minutes left, if we read it in 6 minutes and then we have 10 minutes to read, to review the answers. So if we forgot some question, because we have different type of questions, not all the questions are going to be circle the one that you think is right, or cross out the one that is odd. We have very different type of questions. Some of them are going to require more time than other ones, so we're going to see that in a little bit. Okay, so make sure the time. Okay, content. Besides the content, we can have different type of topics. It doesn't matter, the type of topic you can get. It's totally random. It can be either academic, more proper, that can talk about maybe history, science, biology, etc. Or maybe it can be something more common, such as psychology, geology, evolution, not as academic, but it doesn't matter if you know or know about the topic. For example, let's pick one. Let's see, psychology. Do you know anything about psychology? Do you have like a lot of knowledge about this topic, or it's maybe limited?
Pretty basic.
Okay.
Like things that you read on social media or stuff like that.
Yeah. So basically, if we're not a psychologist, we're probably not very familiarized with the topic, right?
Yeah.
But it doesn't matter if it is psychology or maybe a topic maybe more not as common for us as science or technology. The topic is going to, or the passage, sorry, is going to give you enough information about the topic. So it's not like you have to find out what this word means. The passage is going to give you enough information to have a general idea about the topic. Okay? So that's not something to get scared about. Let's continue. Okay, so as you, I'm sure you are starting to think, well, maybe 18 minutes is not very long, right, to read a passage. I'm not sure how long is 700 words. 10 questions sounds like a lot. So the thing here is to be smart and try to manage our time as best as we can. So some tips that we can give you for this section, sorry, is to try to don't skip questions. So for example, one of the most common questions that you can get is to you can get vocabulary questions. So for example, replace this word with this list of other words. basically. What is the synonym of this word? So it's very easy, right? I don't have to actually have read the whole text and understand the whole text. So this can be very fast, right? As for example, a synonym of height. I can have 3 options and I can answer in matter of seconds, right? Maybe 5-10 seconds at the most. So we have to try to answer the question, because we read a question and then we read our options, right? So in that moment, even if I'm not totally 100% sure of the answer, I have to try to answer the best possible option in that moment, because reading the question, it's already 20 seconds, reading the options 5 to 10 seconds, and then thinking about that, 30-40 seconds in total. So we can waste that if we skip it. So in that moment, just try to choose the best option you can. So at the end, if you have enough time left, you can go back and maybe you remember the right option, and then you just fix it. Okay. Another tip is the question going order of the text. So for example, we're gonna get 4 paragraphs. It's going to start with the first paragraph. So it's going to say something like, in the first paragraph, we saw this word, la la. Then it's going to ask you maybe one more about the first paragraph, and then it's going to jump to the second one, the third one, etc. So it's always going to go in order. Another thing to consider. Okay, if you are missing, sorry for a typo, if you're missing the time, just choose an answer. As you're going to see tomorrow and Thursday, there are questions that take more time than other ones. So at that point, I think the best option is just to if you are running out of time, like guess. I think this option suits best the question, and just put it, mark it, because you're not going
it's better than have nothing.
Exactly, because it doesn't matter if you get a lot of wrong questions. It's not like it's going to take your grade out. You're not going to get less score for making mistakes. Okay, so it's summative. It's not like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah, I understand.
Okay, great. Okay, don't get stuck. If you are not understanding very good a question, try to answer it and then jump to the next one, because as I mentioned before, sorry, the questions go in order. So maybe if you need to review a little bit of that paragraph, because you're going to have a paragraph and then the question, paragraph, question, and we can have the urge to read maybe, and that's going to waste time. So don't get stuck. If you don't understand very good, try to choose the best option and then jump to the next one. That's not what I mentioned. Don't waste too much time in one question. And don't jump around. Always go in order, because obviously the information is very organized in a way that we can understand very easily. But if we try to, I don't know this one, and try to jump to the last part because I understood better the last 2 paragraphs, it's going to confuse you, and you're going to waste time. And also, if you have enough time at the end, you can review your questions. So if you manage your time very good, you can have the options, in some cases. For example, we have one question when you have to categorize two or three, probably two information, and you can, get stuck in that type of question and get confused. And that's one of the questions that have more score. So we are going always have to, make sure that it's right, because it's in one case we have a 2-point question or a 3-1, and it's obviously it's twice as the rest. Sorry, I forgot to mention, each question is 1 point, except at the last 2 questions, that is 2 or 3 points. Okay, so always try to review your answers if you have time. And like I mentioned before, try to finish your passages in 16 minutes or less. So it gives you, sorry, you can see very good here, but it's 2 minutes to review your answers at the end. And also, you don't get 18 minutes for one passage, and then the time finishes, and then it starts another 18 minutes, and then another. No, it's all one. You just had one clock for all the reading part. So it's you that you have to organize your time and
Okay.
try to make sure you're not staying too much time in one passage, and then you're going to be leaving less time for the
The
rest.
other ones.
Yes. Another thing. Okay, so this is what 700 words looks like. So this is a text that we're going to be working tomorrow, and it's a random topic, about the Mayas, but that's what you have to read in around 6 to 8 minutes. It's not very hard to read. It has some, in this example, some paragraphs that are a little bit more proper than the other ones, but the information that you need to know for this, for each passage, is always going to be in the same passage. Okay, so I'm just going to review before we finish all the questions, so you have an idea of type of questions that we have. So I'm going to show you very quickly. We have one here that is about vocabulary. It's one of the easiest one. We have another question here. It's an open question. Then over here, this is to cross out the odd answer that doesn't belong there. For example, here, an inference question, a little to read between the lines. Another type of question, a purpose, on function question. Now, why the author says this, what means this, why the author, etc. Paraphrase, so basically to say something but in your own words. Another reference question, what this means, or they, or it. And insert text question. No, it's basically to put an information in one of these spots, which for me was new, but they have very many type of questions. They have 10 actually. Summary, try to summarize the whole text in some sentences. And finally, category questions that we try, like I said, you pull some questions and try to categorize it in 2 or 3 topics, and that's it. So sorry, that's all the questions that we're going to be working this week, so you have a little bit of an idea of how they are. And we're going to start tomorrow with the first 5 or so, and then we're going to finish on Thursday. Do you have any questions, or do you have a suggestion? I don't know. Do you have anything to say?
No, not really. It was well explained.
Okay, good. So tomorrow I'm going to send you the call again, the invitation for Zoom through the WhatsApp group, and hopefully we're going to have the link of the YouTube channel, so you can check the calls, the meetings, the classes. And tomorrow also I'm going to give you, with the other students, the times that we can work on personal calls. Okay, so we can start practicing. I'm going to give you 2 options, so you can choose one of the ones that best suits you, and that's all.
Okay.
Okay, thank you very much.
Yeah, it's fine. Thank you.
Your attention. I'm going to send you the poll for today. If you give me 1 second, please. Okay, you're going to get a poll right now, and you can answer, and that will be it for today.
Okay, send it.
Okay, thank you very much, and see you tomorrow at 7 p.m.
Okay, thank you.
Okay,
See you
thank
tomorrow.
you. Take care. Bye bye.
Bye.